In this lesson, section 2.4, we're going to be looking at linear equations in two variables along with the idea of functions. You may recall that we discussed that any line is actually a function except for vertical lines. So keep that in mind as we go here. I want to remind you about the standard form of the equation of a line. Now, this form that you see here is not really useful in a lot of other ways, but we see it written this way just so that you can see the x and the y on one side, and then we will be able to graph from there. So as we look down, number one, you will see that it asks us in the instructions, graph the equation and identify the x and y intercepts. It actually makes more sense to identify the x and y intercepts on this first one and then use those to graph. So if we take a look at number one, the x-intercept is going to consist of having a y value of 0. And so when we plug that in, we're going to have 3x minus 2 times 0 equals 6. And so we're going to have 3x equals 6, leaving us with 2 for our x. Then if we want to do our y-intercept, we're going to let x be 0. So plugging in for 0, or plugging 0 in for x in the original equation is going to give us 3 times 0 minus 2y equals 6. So negative 2y is 6, leaving us then that y is negative 3. So that gives us 2 points we can use to graph the line. And so we're going to do just that. So if I graph 2, 0, it'll be about right here. And then 0, negative 3, right here. And then, of course, connect the points with a line. Hopefully yours is straighter than mine. Okay, now we're going to take a look at number 2, and you'll notice that the y is missing. So we're going to go ahead and solve that for x, leaving us with x equals negative 2. That tells us that every x is negative 2, and so we can even go ahead and plot a point, say along the x-axis where we have negative 2. That's actually our x-intercept. So x-intercept is the point negative 2, 0. What about y-intercept? Well, when we do x equals negative 2, again, that means all the x's are negative 2, which means we actually have a vertical line going through that point. If we have a vertical line, that means it's not going to cross the the y-axis. So we actually have no y-intercept. Number 3 is also unique or special. Notice that its y equals 2, so there is no x. That means that it is a horizontal line. Okay, and so y equals 2 means that all the y's are 2. I'm going to make a point right there where we cross the y-axis at 2, and we're going to have the horizontal line through that point. That tells us then that our y-intercept is 0, 2, get that right. and then it does not cross the the x-axis, and so we have no x-intercept.